Sports alongside Daniel Laurie and Madison Shipman. I'm Eric Freed, a couple of All-Americans who know what it takes to win in the postseason. And as we've seen with Texas Tech last year and again this year, they know what it takes to win in the postseason.
Well, and I kind of look at their road was pretty similar last year in this Big 12 tournament. So it's pulling from that, the emotions of what this tournament was and winning it. That's what I want to feel going into today.
And this matchup is going to be great because there's a sense of familiarity between these two teams. They just played a 3-game set just a couple of weeks ago, but you know what helps when you have a bit of familiarity is having one of the best arms in the circle. And for Texas Tech, that is Nyjari Cannady, one of the best pitchers throughout her entire collegiate career. And Danielle, I love the way that she's been able to add to her repertoire throughout her career. She's not just a rise ball pitcher. She's not just going to go throw 70, 71, but she can work east to west. She can throw in that changeup, and that's a pitch I definitely think she's going to need against this red-hot Arizona State offense.
And I like her going up against another senior in the big dog and Kenzie Brown, and an amazing opportunity for her. Yeah, she did just play this Texas Tech lineup a couple weeks ago, so what adjustments is she going to try to tweak? I love that changeup of hers. I do think it's one of the best in the nation, and a great opportunity for her to go up against this tough lineup, make some adjustments, and kind of be that big senior.
Should be a great matchup in the circle. Nyjah and Texas Tech ready to go to defend their title. We will have the first pitch when we come back to Oklahoma City. Nyjah Cannady is ready to go in the circle. The co-pitcher of the year in the Big 12 will throw the first pitch.
She's already seen this Arizona State offense, too, for a combined 12 innings earlier in their series that they played just 2 weeks ago. So she's going to see what kind of adjustments she can make. And now, granted, this Arizona State team has been hitting the ball extremely well since they got here to the Big 12 tournament. And they're looking to continue that trend and kind of use some of that information that they gained in that series in their game plans today against Cannady.
There you see the lineup, and it's a swing and a miss by Tanya Wendell, the leading hitter for this Arizona State team, and we are underway here in OKC. See the rest of the lineup with Pond, Swan, and Shep to follow. Brooklyn Ulrich having a great tournament, 6 for 7 at the plate. Little bloop back behind third. They'll drop in for a base hit. And a big wide turn at first and a leadoff single for the senior to get Arizona State going. Now, they ended that Oklahoma State game last night, 10:37 Central Time. The game was delayed because of severe weather in the area. This is a really quick turnaround for the Sun Devils.
Quick turnaround, and Maddie and I were talking to Coach Bartlett pregame, and it's just about trying to carry that momentum over. And I mean, you could tell we were just walking through and they're like chatter and talking to us.
I think it was Brooklyn Ulrich that was up on the fence singing.
Yeah.
And that just tells me that they're feeling good coming into this game.
Can Brooklyn carry a tune is the big question, the follow-up.
Yes, I will say yes.
Okay.
Yes. Much better than I would be able to carry a tune, that's for sure.
Here's Kaylee Pond, 6-year grad student at 346 on the season. Second team all-conference selection in the Big 12. This is an Arizona State team that got to the 40-win mark with the win last night over Oklahoma State. They've won 5 in a row. They were 11-13 in a very challenging Big 12. In fact, it wasn't until the last game of the regular season that they knew their seeding for this tournament, and they needed to play well in that final weekend to just make this 18 tournament.
It's kind of wild to think, too, just with how many great players they have on this team. And like you mentioned, Danielle, Kenzie Brown being out there in the circle, but this is a team that had dealt with a lot of injuries throughout the season.
A little late on that one. Pond with the strikeout, went away.
Already a prime example of what we're going to see from Nyjari Cannady today. It seems like she's pumping some pretty good velocity in there early. You're going to see her throw high 60s consistently into the low 70s. That rise ball is the pitch that she is most known for, but she has been working the curveball, the screwball, and the off speed. And that last pitch looked like it had a little bit of downbite to it as well, Danielle.
Yo, I'm feeling the velo up here, though. Like, it kind of feels nice. Like, I've watched Nyjari throughout the year, but like to be here in person and hear it, like that was the one thing I was excited about with this matchup today.
Imagine that, Danielle being excited by somebody who's thrown in the low 70s.
I mean, I can't say that I could throw in the low 70s, but it's just this is what it's all about, right? Like, what is a postseason Nyjah and a postseason Caitlin Terry and a Sam Lincoln, the pitching staff, like, what are they going to be like, right? The team is going to go as Nyjah and KT go. But I love hearing that velo and just kind of what she brings to the table, because I feel like when you see her swagger turned up, like Nyjah is money. And sometimes I feel like I haven't seen that enough throughout this season.
And now we did see it throughout the postseason run last year for Texas Tech.
Oh, Samantha Swan couldn't hold on to it. Just goes down on strikes, and they're going to have to fish the bat.
I think that just might be a great visual example of just how nasty Nyjah Kennedy's pitches are early in this game, because Samantha Swan, who has been hitting the ball extremely well, just completely lets go of the bat here. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you just swing so hard you lose your grip, and that one luckily sailed right into the netting over that Texas Tech dugout.
Well, Texas Tech in that dugout with the assist to get the bat back over to the Arizona State side.
Didn't have that on my Big 12 championship bingo card.
Mark that one off. Ball one from Kennedy to cleanup hitter Emily Shep, junior third baseman. 3 for 6 in the tournament, 356 on the season. Little late on that, 1-1.
If I'm Nyjah, I mean, this first inning, I don't feel like I need to bring out my change. Based on how you've seen the Pond and Swan and their back-to-back at-bats with, especially swinging at those pitches with 2 strikes.
Foul back, it's 1-2 to Shep.
Those are kind of little things that I'm putting up in the memory box of like, man, like they're swinging at my pitch, right? And I think as a pitcher, that's what gives you confidence, especially in that first inning. Like, if I can get 2 strikes on you, like, you don't stand a chance against me. And that definitely for Nyjah, I mean, she's .57 average on a hitter with 2 strikes. Like that, it doesn't seem fair.
Fouled off again. Runner was on the go on the 1-2 pitch.
And she's been getting ahead of batters, too. All but one batter that she's faced in this inning, she has thrown a first pitch strike to. Actually, the only batter she didn't throw a first pitch strike to was to Emily Shep, who's up to the plate, but she followed that up with, what, back-to-back-to-back strikes. So being able to get ahead and stay ahead kind of allows you to decide whether or not you want to deploy that changeup early in the game.
Yeah.
Another 1-2 from Nyjah. Check swing.
There it was.
There it was.
On the appeal, check was successful by Shep, 2-2.
But the change now in this situation almost makes my rise ball that much better. If I want to go there at a 2-2 count, it speeds that pitch up a little bit just based on the change in the back of the hitter's mind.
Up top, and the count goes full to Shep with 2 down here in the first.
Good take on that rise ball, too. It looks like she's really got some sharp break up in the zone on that pitch today. Can hear the way it's popping the mid of Vic Valdez back there catching.
Good at bat.
Shep gets a piece. We'll do the 3-2 again.
This is one of those at-bats, too, Danielle, to your point. You start wondering the further she gets into this at-bat, the more and more likely, at least in my mind, it is that we might see another change-up, just because that was a pretty good swing on that curveball away there.
It's good AD.
Shep gets it done with the walk, 2 on with 2 down here in the first. Here's Katie Chester, the junior from Liberty, Missouri. Missed last season with an ankle injury, but a first-team all-conference selection this year in the Big 12. Top run producer for this Arizona State team. She takes strike 1. 2-1 win in the quarterfinal round for Arizona State over number 3 seed Arizona. And then the 11-7 win last night against Oklahoma State. Kennedy off the plate, it's 1-1. It is warm, but I think it's more warm for us than for them. I mean, Texas Tech and Arizona State, this is a comfortable spring
is softball
day.
weather right here.
77 degrees at first pitch. It's going to climb up into the 80s today. That misses, it's 2-1.
It's a good pitch.
Chester 2 for 7 in the tournament with a couple of runs scored. This is a fly ball to deep center field. It is carrying, but it will stay in the park. Maya Davis needed every inch of the ballpark with her back up against the fence to put it away to retire the side. Texas Tech coming to the plate in the first.
We're Mizuho. Sound familiar? If you don't know us yet, you should. Supporting the biotech that could cure aging. Mizuho is there. Championing clean energy in Hawaii. We were there too, helping lead the charge on that electric vehicle IPO. Also us. So if you're making your next big move, now you know our name. Mizuho Americas, a name worth knowing.
The All-American from Lake City, Illinois in the circle for Arizona State, the ace of the staff, Kenzie Brown.
I love me some Kenzie Brown. She's been a lot of fun to watch over the course of her career, and had her last year at the UCLA Regional and got the opportunity to talk her name on Monday at that AUSL draft. She's going to be headed to the Cascade out of Portland, Oregon, and she really is kind of one of those the team is going to go as someone like Kenzie Brown goes, just based on her stuff and truly how good she is. Today's a day where you need to make sure that that is turned on.
Really a great battle between two fantastic pitchers in the circle, and both of them going up against really solid offenses too. I'm going to start with Maya Davis in that leadoff spot, but Caitlin Terry has had a fantastic season, already batting .500 in this Big 12 tournament.
You mean Caitlin Terry, one of the best pitchers in the country?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure we've got that established. 7th in the country in hitting and 7th in the country in earned run average.
It's really remarkable when you look at what she's been able to do this year, and how really dominant she's been in both facets of the game. And Coach Jerry Glasgow talks a lot about her base running. That's one of the things that I feel like we don't talk about enough, is her base running.
Speaking of base running, everything begins with Maya Davis. Looks like she spun away from that pitch from Brown and took it for a ball. It's 2-0. Davis, second team all-conference selection, 441 on the season, 833 in the tournament, 5 for 6 with a walk and a couple of runs scored. There's a strike, and it's 2-1.
Good pitch. Like when that screwball is low and just has the feel behind it, like that is tough. And we know she can go downstairs, has that drop ball, can climb the ladder with the rise ball, but I feel like that's such an important pitch to have against those left-handed hitters.
Especially a lefty like Maya Davis, too, who can do just about anything. So I'm always curious how the defense is going to line up. And now that there's 2 strikes, you're going to see the corners kind of move back just a little bit. But one of my favorite stories to talk about with Maya is how she started her career at Louisiana with Jerry Glasgow as being mostly a slapper, hardly ever hit away at all. And now you fast forward to her senior year, she can bunt, she can slap, and she can hit away for power.
Ground ball to the right side. That's scooped up by Tiade Ho Ching, who plays second on to Katie Chester, 1 down here in the first. Kenzie Brown in the quarterfinal round went the distance against Arizona, gave up 5 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, struck out 7 through 131 pitches. What should we expect today?
Well, I mean, the beauty of Kenzie Brown, she can throw you anywhere. She can go to all 4 of those separate spots with her different pitches. To me, I know I talk a lot, but the changeup and being able to throw that and change speeds against elite level hitters, you cannot make it in the college game if you can't change speeds. I mean, we've seen Carlin Pickens throw, what, 75 miles an hour, and hitters make contact. So I think that at times is what separates Kenzie. She has that good down. We at times don't see it enough, but I feel like she can throw it anytime she needs.
Little squibber, tipped by the pitcher, going to be a tough play, but a good play made by the Arizona State defense. Ho Ching on the Chester Williams retired, 2 down.
To go along with the changeups today, Danielle, I feel like the defense is going to be so important for both teams, because these offenses are going to do whatever they can to try to put the ball in play. So you have to be able to make plays like this. A really nice job by Tiade Ho Ching to read that ricochet off of Kenzie Brown, and to know that Mia Williams has good speed going down the first baseline. So the only chance that she had to get that out over at first base was to throw that one on the run.
Yeah.
I'll bring up first team selection in the Big 12, Jackie Liss. It's a good point, Madison, because in Tempe, you mentioned the series sweep by Texas Tech over Arizona State. Sun Devils had 5 errors in that series. You got to be really clean against a team like Texas Tech that was #1 in the country just 3 weeks ago.
And you get the feeling runs are going to be at a premium with these 2 pitchers battling out there in the circle.
But I feel like I can say the same thing for Texas Tech. When I went back and looked at the losses of Caitlin Terry and Nyjah Kennedy, a lot of them are unearned runs, which means there's something going on defensively, right? Like it doesn't matter if you have a Nyjah out there, you still have to play clean defense, especially late in a season, conference championship, regional supers. That's sometimes a difference maker.
A lot was made about, I'm sorry, Madison. A lot was made about those Texas Tech losses to Texas State and to Utah. They had 4 errors in that Utah game, to your point, Danielle.
Yes.
So they've had a couple of duds, but Jerry Glasgow told us yesterday, we are peaking. This is exactly where we want to be right now. We're playing well in the field, swinging it well, and obviously getting a lot of pitching.
It is wild to think when Coach Jerry Glasgow talks about the inconsistencies with this team, and they have, a whopping 5 losses on this season. but 3 of those losses were shutouts, and so I think that's why across the board you're kind of looking at those losses going, what happened? What happened to the offense there? How were the other teams able to put up so many runs on such dominant pitchers that they have in the circle?
3-2 the count now to Liss.
Seeing a couple off speeds already from Kenzie Brown.
Yeah, like that last one, I'm taking a harder look. Just doesn't seem like it had as much bite as we've seen on her other changeups. Kind of drifts in, definitely different variations in speed.
2-out walk, and Liss is aboard.
Good take on that last pitch, too. Looked like it was a drop ball down in the zone, so that's another reason why Kenzie Brown is so effective in how she racks up those strikeouts, because she doesn't just have upspin. She's not just going to work rise at the top of the zone, but really working that drop ball, too. Kind of goes back to how teams have to decide what they're going to swing at when you step into the box against Kenzie Brown, because you can't just have an uppercut swing or go down on the rise balls, because she can do a little bit of everything.
229 strikeouts for Brown, by the way, this season. That's #1 in the conference, 7th in the country as Jazzy Burns steps in. Burns swinging a good bat. Second team all-conference selection. 10 for 20 with 5 home runs in her last 7 games.
She's been getting the ball in the air quite a bit, too, even in this Big 12 tournament. The times that she's gotten out, you can see it almost, to me, looks like she's intentionally trying to hit the bottom half of the ball to get that carry.
I don't know how many times, and you guys have been coming to this ballpark for years. I don't want to say decades. I'm just going to say years.
No, I mean,
You
throw
can
it
say
out
decade.
there.
You can say
Fine.
decades.
Have
It's
you
all right.
ever been here when the flags in center field are as, like, they're just not blowing right
Yes.
now? There is no wind
Yes.
in this park right now. Usually it's pretty windy around here in Oklahoma.
Eric does want to reference that it is hot here. I've heard him say that at least
No, I'm
5
fine.
times since we've gotten the booth.
I've been begging
Right
for
on,
70.
right on cue.
Yeah, the
the
wind picks
flags.
up.
Yeah, the flags are going to start blowing.
Flag
up
was
there.
limp just a moment ago. I knew once I said that it was going to blow 15 miles an hour.
Can we get a fan up in the booth for Eric, please?
I'm fine. Us Northerners have been begging for this kind of weather all year for months. I'm just presenting the facts here. 1-2 to Burns.
I will say, with some of the velocity that we've been seeing from Kenzie Brown and Nyjah Kennedy, you almost get a breeze from the 71 getting pumped in there down on the field.
Pulled the string, didn't get it. Full count with 2 down, so Liss will be off with the delivery by Brown.
I don't think that one missed by much.
I think it fooled the hitter and the umpire there.
Burns takes advantage. Back-to-back walks issued by Brown. 2 on with 2 down here in the first.
Eric, this is very similar to what we saw in this series during the regular season between these two teams. It really came down to just 2 mistakes that Kenzie Brown had made. Now, both of those mistakes came with 2 outs, and both of them were 2-run home runs that were hit against her, followed up right after a walk and a bloop base hit out to right field. So we're seeing kind of something similar here to start off this game.
Ball 1 to Caitlin Terry, leading the team in hitting at .477. First team all-conference selection in her first year with Texas Tech after transferring over from UCLA.
I do feel like the ball does fly a little differently in Tempe.
Agreed.
It's a little thick, the air here in OKC.
Line shot, gloved at short. Great play by Brooklyn Ulrich, who's been getting it done at the plate, but she gets it done with the glove to retire the side.
this line drive looked like it was going to be at least a couple of runs for Texas Tech, but Brooklyn Ulrich over at shortstop has another idea, diving straight up the middle, robs Caitlin Terry of a hit, and you know just how much that means. Look at that reaction, a diving play.
In the championship against Arizona, and this is what Nyjah did in this tournament last year. And you talked about maybe, well, in the regular season, maybe you're not seeing like peak Nyjah, but she has been in the spotlight in the postseason on the national stage her entire career, and it almost feels like when it's time to flip that switch, she knows where that switch is. She did that last year, saw that with the 26 strikeouts.
And I think, too, you do have in the back of your mind, this is my last crack at it. Like, this is the last opportunity for me to play in this Big 12 tournament, to be at a selection show Sunday feel with, you know, my buddies by my side. And not that that's a bad thing, but sometimes it can play too much in your head where you have to remember, you know, I say this kind of, but who the hell you are. That's Nyjah Kennedy. Like, we saw her get this team to the national championship last year and be one game away. And I even,
by the way, the year before that,
at Stanford,
the year before
for
that.
sure.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, like, I feel like there has been so much more pressure on this young lady this year than ever, right? Like, to make it back to the national championship, her NIL opportunities. I think kind of a saving grace is having a Caitlin Terry on this team and what she's been able to do to take a little bit of some innings off of Nyjah. But, you know, when she needs to turn it up, like, I don't think there is a tougher competitor when the game's on the line than Nyjah.
Well, and you knew this better than anybody as we see a third strikeout of the day for Kennedy, going with that changeup again, which we talked about was going to be so important for her. But it's hard to lose games when you're just throwing shutout after shutout after shutout, which is kind of what she has been doing so far in this Big 12 tournament and going back to last year, all those shutouts.
Yaya Acuna up with one down after Mejia was retired on the strikeout. Acuna 293 on the season. Just want to go back to what you said. You think this year is tougher, Danielle, than last year when she, the much publicized big money.
Are you going to get back? Can you get your team back to the national championship?
Texas
Can you be that player? Can you be the national player of the year? Like, she's not on that list.
More this year than last year.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, they built what seems like a super team. I feel like it's national championship or bust for Texas Tech. I mean, I do. I mean, we mentioned it with Jerry. He kind of had made that comment too. So, yeah, there's more of a target. You're getting everyone's best when you play that Texas Tech team simply because of that. Look at the stars. I mean, we're talking like Space Jam style here.
But in building that super team, you mentioned maybe the most important piece is Caitlin Terry to take that pressure off of Nyjah in the circle.
And you can't forget about the offense, too.
Slow roller, Nyjah at her knees with the play. 2 down.
Nice play by Nyjah there. Actually kind of slipped down to her feet. Looks like she's giggling about it with Taylor Panel over at third base. She looks to be okay. Let's take another look at this one here. Ground ball right back to her. Oh, that left foot kind of slips out from underneath her, but a nice throw from her knees over to first base.
I felt like the mom and me came out there. I was like, oh my God, are you okay? Is Nyjah okay?
That you can think that and say that. I think you take it too far if you take the elevator down to the field and just.
I know.
Which I know.
I bet she would appreciate it, though.
Would, yes.
If I showed up in pinstripe suit in the dugout, giving her a big hug. You okay?
Maybe a little tailoring could be. You know, maybe she looks okay. Brooklyn Ulrich made that great defensive play to end the threat in the first, which had to feel good because in that Game 2 in Tempe, she had 3 errors in one game against Texas Tech, but here she is making a web gem in the bottom of the first. Now here she is at the plate, where she has been a tough out in OKC. 6 for 7 in the tournament with a couple of home runs and 4 runs batted in. Slapped out to left field. Desiree Spearman is there, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Nyjah Kennedy, scoreless after 1.5 in Oklahoma City. Kayla Kowalik, assistant coach on the Texas Tech staff. All-Star Cup champion a year ago, down there coaching first for Tech. Danielle, you were a big part of the draft night coverage for AUSL. What was your big takeaway?
Man, it's exciting. I loved the reactions when the athletes figured out where they were going. Like Kenzie Brown is going to Portland with a tough team. Like you think of Megan Grant, you think of Sid Stewart, who's in the Big 12, getting to play with them. And
Player of the year.
Yeah, Nigeri Kennedy going to the Volts, and she'll be staying in Texas. And I kind of think that's exciting when I think of her. Like Rachel Garcia, to me, is one of the best in the AUSL. I just feel like she's just been so consistent. She's been that arm that you can rely on, but I like that she's going to get to throw with someone like Nyjah and kind of mentor her a little bit too. I think that's going to be an important relationship. So, yeah, a lot of great options.
I'm looking forward to seeing two new teams this season in comparison to last year, and watching the teams kind of play with a home field and see how the fans come out and get to enjoy some fantastic softball throughout the summer.
Like record-breaking crowds. Like I always feel like I have to give the shout out when I talk about Round Rock, because it's actually where I met my husband when he played with the Round Rock Express. But seeing them sell that place out and watch the Volts compete there last year, like that was really incredible. And you're just seeing it consistently. Such big crowds. I called a game at Husky Stadium in Seattle.
Line shot in the gap. That'll get down and to the fence for extra bases. Taylor Panel with a leadoff double for Texas Tech to get things started here in the second.
I really feel like Taylor Panel has been swinging a great bat as we've gotten to the back half of the season. This time it's a rise ball that's more on the upper and outer half of the zone, and she goes right to this one. She's already hit a home run in the Big 12 tournament. She pulled it over to the left side. This time she goes oppo right into that right center gap for a leadoff double to start off the bottom of the second.
Panel now with a 10-game hitting streak. Ball one to Desiree Spearman.
And it's always being mindful of the counts that we're throwing in, right? Like 1-2 counts, 0-2 counts sometimes were the hardest for pitchers to throw in, because it should seem like the easiest, right? Like a hitter should have to chase a little bit more, but sometimes we can try to be too fine in moments where you are 0-2, 1-2. And those are always kind of the Achilles heel, I'll say. Like if I give up an 0-2, 1-2 hit, that's the stuff that I would sometimes carry into the dugout. Like, man, I got to be better. Like I have to nibble corners better. But it's the fine line between not wanting to waste a pitch, whereas a hitter, like you wouldn't even sniff at it, right? That's not good either.
Josh Bargfeld is the pitching coach for Arizona State. Kenzie Brown, same number of balls and strikes in her 26 pitches so far. So as they talk it over, I give you a chance to plan your afternoon. If you want to watch a little WNBA, you can see it 3:30 Eastern time, 12:30 Pacific. Vegas finals rematch. Asia Wilson and the defending champs taking on the Mercury. That's coming up later today. Hello to Carolyn Peck. She'll be calling the game. She checked in. She's watching the softball. So, you know, we got those basketball fans checking in on the softball. And you saw a moment ago Caitlin Terry moving down to the bullpen. So we got eyes on the pen down there as she's loose, or getting loose. She was throwing hard pregame as well. Jerry Glasgow, you gotta be prepared for anything.
Expect the unexpected.
And bring plenty of erasers with you for your scorecard.
Especially on this field, you gotta be ready for just about everything.
Here's Desiree Spearman. Junior at 343 on the season. Good pop, hit her 13th home run yesterday. 2 for 3 in the series. Fouled it off. In fact, yesterday, it's a 3-0 count. There was a conversation in the circle, so Jerry Glasgow called Spearman down. We asked Jerry yesterday, what'd you tell her? He's like, 3-0, hit it out of the park. And guess what? Next pitch, she did.
As Danielle would say, manifesting that moment, right?
I mean, I got it on my big lens, so I have it. I was sitting right behind home plate watching.
Spearman can't get that delivery from Brown. Strikeout number 1 for Kenzie, 1 down here in the second.
That's a good answer back. You give up a leadoff double, and then you're able to fight back after a quick conversation with your pitching coach. Like, those are just the little moments. Fire me up, good spot.
Lauren Allred will hit for Vic Valdez. Valdez behind the plate for how she works with the pitching staff, has a great connection with Nigeri Kennedy, but has struggled at the plate, just 2 of 23 on the season. So pinch hitter coming up here, so Valdez doesn't hit. Ball 1 to the junior from Texas. Another one of those players who came over from Louisiana with Jerry Glasgow last year. after he had great success with the Raging Cajuns. The 1-0 from Kenzie Brown.
Just
101.
feel it, love it.
I feel like the velocity has ticked up even from the start of the game. Like it continues to climb further and further up. I'd imagine she's consistently low 70s right now.
And that screwball, those away pitches to the lefties with that little late break. It's a tough pitch. And you can say the same thing, though, too, for Nyjah. Like, when she attacks those lefties on the outside, like, both these right-handed pitchers away to lefties are nasty, right? Whether they go up with that rise or they have that screwball. It's going to be a quick timeout by Jerry Glasgow. And after her first swing and miss on the screw, I could see him in the box, like, way back there trying to tell her what adjustments to make.
Now he's going to show her.
Now he's going to show her.
Well, and I'm sure you're thinking, too, if you're Kenzie Brown in the circle, the way she's swinging at those pitches, I'm just going to throw it again. I'm going to keep on working that pitch with the arm side run away from Lauren Allred until she shows me that she can get to it. And it looked like Coach Glasgow was just talking to her about shortening up that swing, not getting too long, because he's seeing the same thing we are. That velocity is pumping up out of the hand of Brown.
The 1-2 misses. 2-2. Allred led the team in RBI last year with 54, but Glasgow brought in so many players through the portal that it's been tough to get on the field and get the run production, although there are 10 players for this Texas Tech team that have 30 or more RBI. Brown wins the battle, gets the strikeout, 2 down.
After going away with all those screwballs, with all the arm side run and the adjustment that Allred's trying to make, she's trying to get on time. She's trying to shorten up that swing. So what does Kenzie Brown do? Pulls the string. Nasty changeup with a little bit of down bite at the end to get the strikeout.
Here's the number 9 hitter, Haley Toney, the sophomore shortstop.
Well, when I went back and pulled some of the True Media stuff from Kenzie Brown, just wanting to look at kind of the swing and miss of that changeup. I mean, she's number 4 in NCAA right now in Power 4 schools with a 55.4% miss rate, meaning they're swinging and missing at that pitch. Number 4 in the nation. Nyjah's at number 18 with a 43% on that pitch, which at times she'll just bring it when she needs, but at times, you know, if Kenzie doesn't have that pitch, she's not as effective.
Well, and I think that goes back to your point of how important it is for pitchers, especially these pitchers, to have that off-speed pitch because of the swings and misses that they're getting on that change. That shows me that everybody's gearing up for the velocity. And the whole point of pitching in general, you're trying to do whatever you can to disrupt the batter's timing, whether it's getting a little bit of run on the screwball, whether it's moving that rise ball up or changing the speed, having off speeds, having change-ups. So when you're able to do it at that clip and get those swings and misses, that's where you're going to rack up 200 plus strikeouts in a season.
Well, and different feel of the velo, right? So if you cruise at 70 to 71, but your changeup is 57, 58, like when you throw the rise or the drop, like it almost feels like 73, 74, because the hitter is just kind of, I don't know, what is she going to go with? It's just always in the back of the hitter's mind, that cat and mouse.
Toney fouls it off to stay alive. Panel started the inning with a solid double to right center, but back-to-back strikeouts for Kenzie Brown, getting Spearman and Allred, and now trying to get Toney to end the threat. Kenzie said yesterday, or earlier in this tournament, I feel like I'm known for making a mess and then working out of it, which is a great quality to have. If you're going to make your mess, you got to clean it up. She's trying to clean it up right now. Toney lays off. Third time a Texas Tech hitter has worked a full count so far today. Sent out to center field. Getting over there is Pond, and she has it to retire the side. We've played 2 here in the Big 12 softball tournament championship game. We're scoreless.
This Arizona State offense is getting red hot at the right time, and we saw that offense go yard 4 different times against Oklahoma State in last night's game. Started off in the bat of Tanya Windle, then Ashley Mejia getting in on the action. Brooklyn Ulrich, who has been so difficult to get out this entire Big 12 tournament, and Emily Shep sending that one deep into the night. We thought that was going to be another pitcher's duel between Oklahoma State and Arizona State, but the offense said, no. Yeah, we're going to go yard a couple of times in this one.
Second in Big 12 with 88 home runs on the year. That's the momentum that I want to try to carry into this. I know it's hard when you have an All-American out in the circle and someone like Nyjah, but like, how can we try to replicate the feel of what that was like?
Well, and they were facing Ruby Malin
I was going to
last
say,
night.
back-to-back games, they're facing the pitcher of the year in the Big 12, co-pitchers of the year. It's Nyjah and Ruby Malin. Ground ball by the number 9 hitter, Ho Ching, on the first pitch. One down here in the third. And Ruby Malin had been dealing, had a one-hitter in the quarterfinal round, but Arizona State had her number last night.
And different styles of pitching, too. Ruby throws that heavy drop ball, too. She has developed that rise ball, will throw the changeup, where you fast forward to today with Nyjah throwing more up in the zone, a lot more of that upspin with the screwball, curveball, rise ball combo. So how quickly can you make those adjustments? But we did see them make adjustments last night when Oklahoma State was making those pitching changes. You saw them continue to pour on that offense.
I mean, when I can run a pitcher out, when I can run Ruby Malin out of the game, like I'm pedal to the metal. I want to continue to keep finding ways to score runs, because you saw it on the flip side for Oklahoma State. They can score, and they just felt like they really had to have Ruby's back in that situation, put up a lot of runs. She just didn't look like herself. It wasn't that there was a velo issue or anything like that. It just looked like her stuff wasn't, that drop wasn't spinning as much, and that rise.
Which is rare for her.
Which is rare.
She's been so good.
She has. I mean, you cannot say enough about Ruby in the years she's been able to have, not only in the Big 12, but like I'm even speaking outside of that with wins, in the Bedlam series and, Oklahoma, Texas. Like, she had some really big wins that she can put in her back pocket to take into postseason.
Yeah, those couple of midweek wins that you're talking about against Oklahoma, and then literally the next week, a midweek win against Texas, too.
Yeah.
So she's been throwing a ton this year, too. I want to say last time I checked, she was up above 220 innings so far this year. So she throws and throws and throws.
Hit deep to right field. It is gone, and Arizona State continues to swing the bats here in OKC. Tanya Windle, her 8th home run of the season. 1-0 Sun Devils.
When we were talking to Coach Megan Bartlett earlier this year, she had talked about how they were so excited to be able to get Tanya Windle back into the leadoff spot, and one of the reasons is for the big pop that she has in her bat. Goes after this pitch at the top part of the zone. She knows it as soon as she makes contact with that one. She lets the velocity that Nyjah Kennedy is going to bring in there supply the power. She meets her bat to that softball and launches it out to right field for a solo shot.
Well, when I look at Nyjah's pitcher's counts, meaning 0-2, 1-2, she's a .64 ERA. When she's in the hitter's counts, the 2-1, the 3-1, she's a 5.60 ERA, which means you got to bring the ball a little bit more around the zone, and they are going to make a pitching change. Taking out Nyjah.
We showed a few moments ago Terry going down to the bullpen to get loose. She's coming in from the outfield. She'll step into the circle, and Nyjah Kennedy will head to the dugout here. Arizona State with a 1-0 lead. Tanya Windle hits a home run, and Nyjah Kennedy comes out of the game. Caitlin Terry, who has had a fantastic season, we mentioned before, 7th in the country in ERA. The lefty ready to work against Kaylee Pond. And she starts with ball 1. All right, I'll start with you, Danielle. Nyjah Kennedy comes out of the game in the 3rd. I'll assume we'll see her again, but take us through what Jerry Glasgow could be mapping out here.
Well, I mean, I know Caitlin Terry throws very well against Arizona State. I think it's a very short leash. I got to give her a little more than that. A solo shot to me is not scary when the offense you have is the offense you have. I know you're going up against Kenzie Brown, but Caitlin Terry bringing her in, you know what she brings, right? Has the high 60s, works from the left side, 5'5" frame, one of the best two-way players in the country. If you were watching, she's an example. You don't need to be 5'10", 5'11", 6 feet. 5'5", throws hard, the swagger of an absolute dog, I will say that.
One hop to the shortstop. Tony, reach at first. List came off the bag, and Pond's going to be safe. List making no indication to the dugout that they should go to video review. She knows her foot was off the bag. So Pond's aboard with one out rather in the third.
Yeah, watching this one in real time, it looked like the throw from Haley Tony just pulled List. Yeah, you could see it. Came off the base about 6 inches there. She ended up trying to get her foot back on, but by that time, Kaylee Pond had already reached base safely.
Be the first error for Texas Tech of the tournament.
But I am curious, your opinion. Do you think it's too short of a leash? What would you do?
I'm with you. There was a part of me that thought maybe you go through the lineup 2 different times and then bring in Caitlin Terry almost as a closer, in a sense, because she has had so much success.
Fly ball to right. Michaela Garcia takes Terry's spot in right field. She's got it 2 down.
I feel like we were just having conversations about how Nigeri was getting ahead of batters and doing a really good job of getting ahead. It felt like she had some momentum. So to me, that was one mistake, or one at bat that was a mistake, because she fell behind 3-1, and you're going up against a really good hitter in Tanya Windle, and she made you pay for it.
Yeah.
So do you let her stay out there and kind of work her way through it? And it was a solo shot, too.
Well, before the inning even kicked off, the third base coach, Josh Bloomer, who's the hitting coach for Arizona State, had all the troops rallied around him, and he was kind of not laying into them, but having a hard conversation. And I like the response, to go up against Nige again that second time, right? Windle to be in the leadoff spot, to just have that solo shot. That's where you get the confidence in the rest of your lineup.
Part of it, too, Danielle, and this has been touched on, against left-handed pitching, Arizona State hitting 250 against righties, 328. You know, is there a piece of it where Texas Tech is just trying to think it through? Well, Terry's good. She's right up there. I think we're going to see Nija again. But to your point, and to Madison's point, third inning after giving up a long ball seems pretty early, but there's got to be some other plan here.
Well, I'm going to ask him, just so you know.
All right. The little foreshadowing when we talk to Jerry Glasgow.
There's the preview.
I'm just going to step aside and let Danielle go.
Well, you guys all want to know? I will ask.
All right, perfect. Fouled off by Shep, and it's 0-2.
At times, I don't think it's a bad thing to fire your athletes up, because I know there's been times that Caitlin Terry's been pulled from situations where she hasn't been super stoked, and you can say the same thing for Nija. I'm not happy in the dugout. I'm a little upset that I'm out of this championship game. But those are kind of the vibes you have to have as a pitcher. You need 2 solid arms to go far. You want to try to win a World Series. We saw last year with Texas Tech, they could not just do it with 1 arm. So they have that with Caitlin Terry, but being able to kind of compete against each other is what sharpens your game.
Hit deep to left. Will it stay fair? It is carrying. It is gone. 2-run home run, Emily Shep, and Arizona's on top 3-0.
The first home run by Tanya Windle was in a hitter's count, in a 3-1 count. This time, Emily Shep gets a 2-run home run in a 1-2 count. She is all over this pitch. And remember, they just faced Caitlin Terry just 2 weeks ago. This is one of the curveballs. She's trying to run it underneath the hands of Emily Shep, and she gets her barrel out in front to be able to drill that one all the way over the left field wall. And how about that continued offensive momentum from Arizona State? Didn't matter that the game ended at 11 o'clock last night. They are ready for this 11 a.m. start time against Texas Tech today.
Sleep is overrated when you get to Mayhem, no question about it. That is number 12 on the season for Shep. And Madison took you through it, what Arizona State did last night against Oklahoma State, and perfect timing because they have kept it going here with 2 home runs in this inning.
Momentum is such a key piece too, and you can just kind of you can make a pitcher feel a certain way regardless of who that pitcher is. And if you're able to do that as a hitter, I mean, you put the advantage a little bit more over in your dugout. Now, I almost kind of loved that as the pitcher, right? Like, you're not going to show me up. Like, I loved that kind of competitive nature that a hitter and a pitcher can have with one another in the moment.
Another one hit deep to left. It's another home run for Arizona State. Katie Chester with her 19th. It's all Sun Devils here in the third.
And I will say, when we asked Coach Jerry Glasgow yesterday about the importance of moving forward in the postseason, he was saying the changeup with Caitlin Terry is going to be a difference maker. But in a situation like this, she just left it up a little bit. Man, a heck of a swing.
Knows it straight off of the bat.
Oh, yeah.
It almost looks like to me like these righties are putting their toes right up on that chalk line, trying to take away the inside part of the plate and basically taking everything, whether it's a changeup, whether it's a curveball, because they know it's going to have that bite in on their hands, and just turning on it and trying to drill it out to left field. And that game plan is working.
Another hard hit ball. Mahia has a base hit to right. Arizona State may not have won that series against Texas Tech, any games in that series, but they took some notes and they took some information out of that sweep by Texas Tech, and we're seeing it pay off here.
And going back to what you had said, Danielle, about the way that Arizona State hit against Oklahoma State last night and how they ended up knocking Ruby Malin out of the game, it almost feels to me that it would be a similar sense if I'm in that dugout for Arizona State and Coach Jerry Glasgow takes Nigeri Kennedy out of the game. Even though we just have a 1-0 lead, it feels like a lot more. It feels like we've won in that moment because he's had to make a pitching change in just the top of the third inning, and you are seeing them just continue to pour it on now that Caitlin Terry's in the game.
Amen. Good point, right? Like, anytime you can run a starter from the game, I mean, ice in your veins. And that conversation with Coach Bloomer, having everyone around him before this inning kicked off.
Another base hit for Arizona State. Everybody hits right now for the Sun Devils. Yaya Acuna makes it 4 straight hits for the Sun Devils and 5 in this inning.
I'm surprised that he hasn't made a change.
When Glasgow came out,
I know,
and it was a very quick conversation, and Terry working quickly, swing and a miss by Ulrich, who tried to check her swing, strike one.
They're swinging early, too, not even letting Caitlin Terry get comfortable in the circle by swinging at the first pitches of the at-bat. And I can see down the left field line, it does look like there's some action in that Texas Tech bullpen. Looks like Samantha Lincoln out there getting loose.
Yeah, sophomore left-hander from Taunton, Mass. Looks to be next in line for Texas Tech.
It's kind of your neck of the woods.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we love 77-degree days. Hey, I'm just curious, when there's a moment like this in this game, and as you just said, you chase an All-American from the circle, and you're having success against someone who could have been the player of the year in the Big 12. It was a tight race, I'm sure, but Terry with that two-way player, but Arizona State is on top of everything right now.
Well, and sometimes as a pitcher, you have those days. I hate to say it, you tend to sometimes not want to have a bad day on certain days, and it's part of it. And I think it's being able to try to kind of erase it, short-term memory, next pitch mentality, but it can seem overwhelming. And you're seeing that with Arizona State this inning.
That does it for Arizona State, but they send 9 to the plate in the third. 3 home runs in the inning. Wendell, Shep, and Chester.
Tanya Wendell getting the home run party started, knocking Nigeri Kennedy out of the game, but the offense continued to swing it. 2 more home runs after Caitlin Terry entered the game, and Arizona State's got a 4-0 lead.
125 home runs, which is 3rd in the country behind Oklahoma and UCLA.
They already had some great offensive players returning from last season, Maya Davis being one of them, but then you add in players like Mia Williams and Jackie Liss and Jazzy Burns, and the way that Caitlin Terry's been able to swing it this year, Taylor Panel, Desiree Spearman, you name it, they have some really great and talented offensive pieces top to bottom in their order.
Well, and if I'm Kenzie Brown, pedal to the metal. There is no taking my foot off the gas when it comes to this. Like, with knowing this is a lineup that can obviously get back in a game in a heartbeat. We've seen the pop. We saw what they were able to do yesterday against Kansas. And with being that elite-minded pitcher, you have to know that, right? Like, you can never have those moments of like, oh, my team just put up 4. Like, oh, we're good. No. Like, how can I make you look bad every single pitch? That is my job. And I want to get out of here with a shutout.
Strike to Maya Davis, who grounded to second in the first. Top of the lineup for Texas Tech here in the third. Davis, Williams, and Liss. Arizona State has done what no team had been able to do in 2 years here at the Big 12 tournament, and that's score against Texas Tech. Entering this game, Texas Tech had outscored teams 47-0 in 5 games. 3 shutouts last year, 2 this year. Brown gets the strikeout to start things here in the third. NWSL Sunday on ESPN, Kansas City and Chicago. See it at 12:30 Eastern Time. You can catch it live on ESPN or stream it on the ESPN app.
I think the one thing I can say, Maddie, that you can probably like relate to as a hitter is like, as an offense, like, you can't get back 4-0 in one swing. So it's like being able to have that mentality of like, man, we got to manufacture some stuff and not get out of our comfort zone as an offense. We have to stay true to what we do.
Williams grounded out her first time. 1-1 the count.
To your point, Danielle, it can be really difficult to kind of stick with the process and not think about results when you know it's already bottom of the third inning. You can kind of feel that clock ticking and you've got 4 runs that you need to climb your way back into. So you almost want to go up there and do more, but you have to really stick to the game plan. You have to think about what pitches you're looking at, whatever your routine is when you step into the batter's box. You have to zone in on that, especially facing Kenzie Brown.
How important is this inning for Brown? You talked about pedal to the metal, Danielle, but here you're taking on top of the order for Texas Tech. If you can get through Davis and Williams and Liss, there's not a big drop-off after that, but just trying to keep the top of the lineup quiet here would be huge for Arizona State after putting 4 on the board in the top of the inning.
And I think it sets the tone, and there's certain swings that you just put up in the mental piggy bank, and that one on Mia Williams is that, right? Like, if you were going to swing at that pitch, like, in my mind, I feel like I got you. So I'm going to kind of go back with something away. I don't need to come in your wheelhouse on the inner half. But, yeah, I think this inning is really important for Brown and setting the tone, especially when your team puts up 4.
Soft liner grabbed by Ulrich at short. Williams is retired, 2 down.
Went right back to the same spot you were just talking about, Danielle, and I'm right there with you. The bite that she's been getting on both the curveballs and the rise ball that she's throwing up and away to those right-handed batters, if they're going to swing at it and if they're trying to pull it to the left side of the field, you go ahead and keep on throwing it there, because they're either going to swing and miss or they're going to hit it right off the end of the bat like we just saw.
Here's Jackie Liss, who walked her first time.
And there is a different pressure with being a team that's expected to win and being an underdog. I know Jerry Glasgow said it yesterday when we talked to him, like, I always love that underdog mentality. Guess what? That ain't Texas Tech. You guys are not the underdogs. You're supposed to win. But on the flip side for Arizona State, like, they're playing free. They're playing fun. They're taking it over from last night and the last couple games. Like, there's a big difference in how loose they feel in comparison to Tech.
I feel like it always comes back to that mentality and the difference between going out there and playing not to lose versus going out there and playing to win. A vastly different mindset, right? If you're playing not to lose, you can be a little bit reserved. You're not as aggressive versus being that team that's going out there playing to win. You go out there, you take chances, you're not afraid to fail, and you just have a mentality that's in attack mode in every single facet of the game.
Well, and what does Jerry say to us yesterday? Be a dog.
Yeah.
Like, that's the mindset that he's wanted these young ladies to have day in and day out. Not the, like, pick and choose when to be a dog, but how can I have that every single pitch, every single out?
That's going to head out of play.
Arizona State's really embodying that, in my opinion, to start this game. Even just the way that they, after the home run, swinging first pitch, too, just not even letting Caitlin Terry get comfortable out there in the circle. It just felt like it was just this relentless team approach and keeping the pressure on them.
By the way, Nigeri Kennedy is in the bullpen at the moment getting loose, so probably see her re-enter next half inning.
Well, it's that mentality of, like, when I smell blood in the water, I need to attack, because you don't know how many opportunities you're going to get to put up a ton of runs against these two arms, or, you know, be able to go up against an offense like this. Like, this is a good test for Kenzie Brown heading into postseason Sunday, too. Like, what do I want to feel going into tomorrow?
Ball 4, 2-out walk to Liss, who walks for a second time today. We will talk with the Arizona State head coach, Megan Bartlett, after this half inning. Arizona State is an NCAA tournament team even before this tournament started. But as we mentioned a short time ago, they had to sweat it out. They had to win that final weekend to make it into the 8-team tournament here in Oklahoma City. Went down from 11 to 8. So it wasn't a lock, but they are making the most of it. And that's another piece to the puzzle here. Well, their playoffs started last weekend just to have a chance to win a Big 12 tournament because they needed to beat BYU. And if they weren't going to sweep BYU, they're going to need some help. But they took care of business against BYU, and here they are after a couple of wins on top of the #1 seed and the regular season champs, 4-0.
I kind of feel like each one is a little season in its own right. Like the conference tournament is one. How much momentum can we carry from that? But then once the teams are unveiled tomorrow, like the postseason, that's a whole other season too. But man, it helps winning your conference tournament heading into the selection show Sunday with those type of game day vibes and how well your team played.
I always feel like, too, with these conference tournaments, these teams kind of get a taste of that elimination aspect, especially with the single elimination format. Arizona State's had really a solid year, especially given the amount of injuries that they've had to deal with throughout the season. And mixing and matching their lineup, it just finally feels like now they're getting everything together.
Skipped up there, blocked by Swan behind the plate. Liss holds it first.
And I think that puts them, if they're able to continue to keep doing what they're doing and showcase this skill set the last couple of days and try to fight to win a Big 12 championship, I think you reassess some things potentially when it comes to that, like postseason, where their name is going to be. There's a lot of upside when you're able to beat great teams, especially late in the season when you know the committee is watching. She wanted that one.
Yeah.
2-2 the count to Jazzy Burns, who walked back in the first. Five of Burns's last 10 hits, home runs. Browns 2-2. Called strike 3. Strikeout number 4 for Kenzie Brown, and that will do it for Texas Tech in the third. We will talk with Megan Bartlett next.
I mean, I think Kenzie Brown struck her out twice in the same at-bat. Kenzie Brown, fire.
Game heading to the fourth. 4-0 Arizona State, joined now by Arizona State head coach Megan Bartlett.
Coach, we talked to you before the game just about how this team was going to be able to carry momentum over from that win against Oklahoma State last night over here to this morning against Texas Tech. Well, it seems like they've done that through the first couple of innings of this game. What are you seeing in the dugout and even pregame that's led to this performance?
They're just doing a nice job following the game plan. You know, we had the luxury of, it's a great conference. We got to see these guys a couple weeks ago, and the girls are prepared. They're excited. You know, playing with house money right now, so I'm just proud of them. We got a lot of game left to win this thing.
Coach, it just looks like there's just, your team's having a lot of fun. They're loose, they're relaxed. Like, what type of vibe are you getting? Like, does it feel like it's the loosest that they've been in a bit?
Man, this group is all vibes. I mean, we work really hard on our culture. They love each other. They believe in each other, and they're showing up in postseason.
And Megan, sleep is overrated.
That's what I'm saying. They barely slept, so we're just going to carry last night into today.
Yeah. Enjoy it. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Last night's game against Oklahoma State ended at 10:37 p.m. So by the time you wrap up all the post-game responsibilities, you're back to the hotel, what, 11:15, 11:30? Best case if you
And you gotta eat. You gotta eat.
Food, gotta fuel.
How did Erica
I'm
forget
sitting
that?
next to two people who, after every broadcast, got to eat. You're still those ball players after all these
Gotta
years.
fuel up.
Well, look who's back in the circle. Here's Nyjah returning for Texas Tech.
Then it'll go back to how quickly can Arizona State get back to the game plan that they had earlier today. Obviously, they executed their game plan against Nigeria with the Tanya Windle solo shot out to right field. Then when Caitlin Terry entered the game, completely different game plan, but they were able to execute that. Now you're kind of flipping back to page one and also taking note of any adjustments that Nigeria might make when she's back out there in the circle.
44th pitch for Nyjah, misses for a ball. 27 strikes thrown in her first go-round, which went 2 innings plus 1 batter, 2 1/3 innings rather, in that home run hit by Windle.
I think sometimes the hardest switch for a pitcher is when an offense makes you feel like you're on your heels. Like, how quickly can I reverse that mentality and know, like, I am who I am. I am Nyjah, or I am Caitlin Terry. I do feel like she got pulled too quickly, but on the flip side, like, they were on Caitlin Terry and she was actually going faster and faster and faster. It's like, how can a pitcher find a way to slow the game down, take a second, take a breath?
Soft liner to right, they'll get down for a base hit. That's the number 9 hitter, Tiade Ho Ching. She has her second hit of the tournament, and it comes leading off the 4th.
Well, and see, offensively, too, completely opposite of that. You're trying to see what you can do to make sure the pitcher doesn't have a chance to take a breath.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Nigeria falls behind 2-0, gets to 2-1, comes back with the same pitch on the outside, and what does Tiade do? Drives it right to right field, and here we go again with another runner on board for Arizona State.
Starts with strike 1 to Windle. Leadoff hitter for the Sun Devils. Hit her 8th home run of the season against Kennedy in the 3rd. That's fouled out of play. Madison and Danielle were talking about it before. This Arizona State team has just battled injury all season long, and one of the biggest injuries was to Windle. She missed 21 games. Trying to make a diving play against UNLV, so she was in the sideline for weeks before returning from injury in the DP slot today. Called strike 3. Kennedy gets the corner, 1 down.
And that's a good response by Nyjah. Nibbling corners, 0-2. Throwing that screwball. Vic Valdez didn't even need to move. And in games like this, like, this is when I need my catcher more. Like, if I feel like I'm alone on an island by myself, or I am not where or who I feel like I need to be, like, I need you to pull something from me. And I know these two have that, especially Valdez. I mean, no one will hold anyone more accountable than Vic Valdez with Nyjah Kennedy. And it's like, those are kind of sometimes remembering how important the battery is, because it can feel very isolating as a pitcher when things aren't going your way, or home runs or this or that. But how quickly can you get back on track, and, like, you know, a catcher can put her arm around you like, hey, let's go, I got you, you're good. And I'm going to give up runs every now and again. It's a hitter's game.
Fly ball, foul ground, heading towards the stands and out of play. I got the feeling, though, talking a little bit to Texas Tech yesterday, that it's not necessarily the arm around you style from Vic sometimes. Like, she'll give it to Nyjah. Like, she can talk tough and direct, and Nyjah likes that. She wants to get some of that tough love sometimes.
It's another piece of the catcher's job, too, is learning the different personalities on your pitching staff and who needs what in certain situations. Maybe somebody needs a little bit of tough love, or maybe somebody needs a joke in a certain moment. But Coach Jerry Glasgow, talking about Vic Valdez, said that she can recognize Nigeria's spin, too. She is so familiar with what she throws.
To the shortstop, and off the glove of the shortstop. Holding at second is Ho Ching. It'll be an error on Tony. Second of the game for Texas Tech, comes with 1 down in the 4th. 2-1 for Arizona State here in the 4th. El Clasico coming up Sunday on ESPN. Barcelona, Real Madrid, 3 Eastern time. You can see it here on ESPN. Also catch it on ESPN Plus, ESPN Deportes, or stream it on the ESPN app. Mentioned before how in game 2 of that 3-game series in Tempe a couple of weeks ago, errors were costly in a tight game against Texas Tech. They have not helped Texas Tech so far here today. The error last inning on Tony, and now fielding error on Tony, although it has not been posted. Oh, they gave it an infield single.
I wrote down
I wrote
E6
down
already.
E6.
Yeah. And I think you could see the frustration from Haley
Yeah.
Tony,
It's a
too.
play she knows she has to make.
Absolutely. She knows she needs to make that one.
Popped up, shallow left field. Tony moving out, but the left fielder comes on. Spearman's got it, 2 down.
It almost looked like she kind of got caught in between on that ground ball, charging it, maybe to come across and get the throw at one. I thought that was a perfect ground ball to kind of sit back and read the long hop and take the easier hop. Even if maybe you're not able to get that lead runner, you could still get an out in that situation.
Time is called. Tara Archibald, pitching coach, will come out and talk with Kennedy.
Well, and Shep, when you guys had them a couple weeks ago, she was one of the 2 pitchers that had a home run off of Nyjah. It was Wendell in that leadoff spot and Emily Shep. So I like just going and having this conversation. Listen, when you got a couple ducks on the pond, a 3-run ding-dong right now is the last thing that you need. So it's being able to go in, lock in with Nyjah, that plan of attack, how you're going up against someone like Shep, and you got to execute big pitches, but this is kind of what mayhem is, right? I mean, you can't get away with not being able to throw good pitches. Hitters these days have way too much information, and I'm going to say on us, because I feel like I'm a part of the pitchers up here. They have way too much on us.
Hang on a second. Don't you think Madison feels like there's just too much information?
You're still going to get the hitters out majority of the time, I'm just going to say. Although, unless you're Issa Torres and you're batting nearly 600, then Issa Torres for Florida State's winning majority of those battles.
It's a hitter's game, guys. Sorry, I'll sit this one out. I'll be the odd man out. I don't mind.
By the way, you will see Issa coming up 2:30 Eastern time, leading Florida State against Virginia Tech in the ACC Tournament Championship game.
I do think, to your point, though, Danielle, especially with the velocity and the spin, and I look to some of the pitching machines, too. I know Coach Jerry Glasgow is big on the pitching machines, but you can essentially set them up to replicate what the pitcher's going to throw, or even something even nastier than what you're going to see.
Shep with a pop-up heading back towards the stands. No room for Valdez. I also think Shep is at the stage right now where she deserves a little special conversation with the pitching coach before you face her. When you think about how hot she's been at the plate, she had a 2-run home run her last at-bat. She is 4 for 7 here in this tournament with a couple of home runs. Squib foul, and 20 for 44 at the plate in her last 13 games. Emily, one of those players who's had to change her game a little bit, was a catcher at Arizona last 2 years before transferring over, playing third base this season for this Arizona State team that's had to mix and match things in the lineup and in the field to work around all those injuries.
I do feel like, too, once you get settled in defensively, you can carry momentum back and forth from the defense to the offense and vice versa. And I know, Danielle, you've talked about that kind of in the sense of being a two-way player, going out there and pitching, and how hitting was almost an escape when you'd step into the batter's box. Almost felt that way defensively, too, right? Get focus on something else to where you're not necessarily stewing over your at-bats all game long. Probably why I never thrived in the DP role.
2-2. Back to Kennedy, the flip to first, and that will end it. You can hear Nyjah, let's go. We'll see what they can do at the plate when we come back, and we'll see what Jerry Glasgow has to say when we return after this timeout. It is 4-0 Arizona State after 3.5.
I want to take the same plan of attack on offense that you saw Arizona State take on Caitlin Terry.
I agree.
Like, you do know that you are going to get a pitcher's best pitch within the first couple, right? Like, I'm not saying
pitchers want to get ahead.
I want to get ahead of you all day because I want to face you 0-2-1-2. I want to get in your dome. I want to show who the big dog is. So I think my plan would be, how early can I swing on Kenzie Brown and not get fooled on the change? And that's the difference maker the second, third time through, is how she manipulates that pitch.
That's the cat and mouse game that you were talking about earlier, Danielle. As you start to see these batters getting more and more aggressive early, I wouldn't be surprised if we see more and more off speeds, first pitch, second pitch of the at-bat, to try to take away that aggressiveness.
1-1 the count to Caitlin Terry, who is robbed of a hit by Ulrich, the shortstop, her first time.
It's always that fine line, too, because you want to be ready. You want to attack the first pitch that you see from the pitcher, but it's also got to be something that you can hit with authority, not just something that you're going to put in play.
Well, if you're Kenzie Brown, Danielle, you've given up just one hit to one of the best hitting teams, not just in the Big 12, and in the country. In fact, they are #1 in team batting average. If you're Kenzie Brown, what kind of adjustments are you making as you move through this lineup a second time?
Well, I'm always going to go back to the basics. So I'm going to assess what they're doing off of me. Do I need to make a big adjustment from the first time through the lineup to the second time through? If they are swinging earlier in the count, okay, I'm going to have that conversation with the pitching coach. We're going to throw a little bit more off speed to get in their head. But that really is kind of the conversation. I don't think she needs to change a lot necessarily.
But you want to stay one step ahead of a team that's hitting .392.
You need to get ahead of hitters, right? Like, if my team has put 4 runs up on the board, I don't want to fall into any hitters' counts. I don't want to go 2-0. I don't want to go 3-0. I don't want to go 3-1. I'm going to attack. I'm going to utilize my changeup a little bit more earlier, and then we're going to assess and go from there.
Fouled off by Terry. We'll do the 3-2 again.
Is there a piece to it, too, with Kenzie Brown? She does have that element of wildness to the way that she pitches, almost effectively wild, I guess you could say. And just even looking at the free base comparison, walk comparison at the start of this game, Kenzie Brown coming in with 136 innings pitched, 67 walks on the season. And then compare that to Nigeri, who had 140 innings pitched starting this game and was just at 41 walks. So kind of different styles, but I almost think that plays into why you can't just go up there and sit first pitch and swing no matter what, because she is going to work outside of the zone. She's not just going to pump it straight down the middle every single time.
No, and as you know, it's probably harder as a hitter to face someone that is a little bit more effectively wild.
Ooh,
Like that.
And in.
Especially coming in at 70, 71 miles per hour.
Terry's hit by the pitch. She takes first to lead things off here in the 4th.
Well, and these are the moments that need to fire you up. If you were Texas Tech, she just about airmailed it over Caitlin Terry's head, close. Obviously not intentional by any means, but like, how can we gain some momentum, like get something going? You heard Jerry Glasgow before our call, like, let's go attack, like fight, like be the dog. And I feel like I have not seen that. They've played a little bit more passive and on their heels, but that has to fire you up.
Here's Panel, has the only hit against Brown so far. It was the double to right center leading off the second. Takes ball 1.
This seems like the perfect time, too, because Taylor Panel, you mentioned that double. Eric seems to be the only one that has made solid contact against Kenzie Brown so far. She took that pitch that was a little bit up and away and drove it into that right center gap.
On the corner, it's 1-1.
And if you're getting that call, it is going to be a tough day in the batter's box, right?
I know.
And I'd stay right there, too. I know that she drove that ball oppo the last time, but the way that Taylor Panel wants to pull the ball to the left side, I'd be staying right outside with that curveball.
2-1.
And that really has kind of been the difference this inning, is just falling behind. She fell behind to Caitlin Terry. She works it. She works the walk. See her here behind at 2-1. That bottom half of the second time through the lineup, especially being up 4, it doesn't make a difference. Have to continue to get ahead of hitters. And trust your stuff, because it is so good, right? Like Kenzie Brown's stuff, when she is on, it is by far one of the best pitchers in the country. So it's being able to continue to have that mentality every single pitch, effectively wild or not.
2-2 to Panel.
Dirty.
It's the strikeout. That's number 5, 1 away.
I mean, no chance.
Goes back to the pitch again, and that one, it starts out of the hand, looks like it's going to stay right about mid-shin, and you see that late bite up in the zone, and the location and where it is off of the plate or just barely clipping that outside part of the plate. You have to swing at that pitch. You cannot leave it in the hands of the umpire, but so difficult to make contact with it.
It just seems sharp. It's almost like it just seems like a BB gun. Like it is just like a bullet right to that spot. And it's almost the Bayou mentality. I don't know if they say that in MLB, like Bayou. I remember my brother used to always say that. I know you say it. But that is the kind of velo that pitch on a Taylor Panel, that's what it felt like.
And the count 0-2 to Spearman, who struck out her first time.
Do they say that in baseball?
I have not heard it. I have heard you say it, though, so I am familiar with the phrase.
Okay.
Are you trying to
I'll
bring
say
it back?
Trending.
You're going to bring it back?
Well, it never left with me, Eric. But
1 and 2.
with Maddie and all the baseball stuff, I was seeing if she's heard it.
Just because I haven't heard it does not mean that
Yeah.
the players aren't saying it.
The 1-2 from Brown.
Now I just know what was going through your head when you smoked a pitch past me. So
Well, I never faced you. Did we
maybe in the
face each other?
scrimmage, we might. No,
We never
I was very thankful to be playing
We were
shortstop behind you and
teammates.
not
Yes.
actually have to face your changeup.
Yeah. So good.
Speaking of which, 2 down.
That at bat was a little bit different too. She got ahead.
Runner on with 2 down. We're in Oklahoma City. The Thunder are on the road, though, trying to go up 3-0 on the Lakers. You'll see it tonight on ABC. 8:30 Eastern Time. Starts with NBA tip-off at 8. Also on the ESPN app.
But you're right. When you're able to get ahead, you just look at Spearman and the way that her body was moving towards the outside part of the plate. Like, she's not in control of that at bat. It looks like someone like Kenzie Brown is, right? And that really is kind of what you're seeing after the leadoff walk. You're seeing her attack panel. You're seeing her go right at Spearman.
And she's really locating well outside and low to these right-handed batters.
Facing Valdez for the first time. All red hit for her. Tried to check, and she did, according to the first base umpire, Chad Steers. One thing for Kenzie Brown, too, she threw 131 pitches, but that was on Thursday. Arizona State stayed away from her last night. Give a lot of credit to the work done by Mika Lupi, Aisa Silva, to work for Arizona State in the circle in that win. Valdez hits it well, but at the center fielder Pond. And Kenzie Brown, after hitting Terry to lead things off in the 4th, gets a strikeout, another strikeout, and a lineout. And it's 4-0 heading to the 5th.
Momentum late night carrying over to today. They have been a lot of fun to watch here.
Knocked off the number 3 seed Arizona 2-1 on Thursday. The number 2 seed Oklahoma State 11-7 last night, and they're on top of the number 1 seed 4-0. Kenzie Brown pitching a gem, giving up just 1 hit through 4. Nigeri Kennedy got the start, gave up that home run to Wendell, was pulled for Caitlin Terry, and now Kennedy back on as she works here against Katie Chester. Chester with a high fly ball to shallow center field. Maya Davis puts it away, 1 pitch, 1 out.
Well, and you heard Jerry Glasgow say he made the change because the change piece wasn't there for Nyjah. And I couldn't agree more in the sense of, like, if I can get her a couple opportunities, go out in the bullpen. I don't think they were expecting for it to happen the way that it did with bringing in Terry, but like that is going to be a pitch that is make or break for Nyjah. When you look at how important the changeup is.
2 pitches, 2 outs, both put away by Davis. Hurry up, Danielle.
No, it just, I can't even get my point. It's a good, quick inning for Nyjah, but I mean, that's a pitch that she relies on for those swings and misses,
Yes.
right? She just has such a good job and command of that pitch. And I think if I have taken note of anything today, it's just kind of been that we haven't seen as many swings and misses, especially on that pitch. So it's finding ways to still be able to throw it, but so far a good couple pitches here to make it for a quick inning.
First pitch strike to Acuna, who's 1 for 2 today. Oh, 0-2. Arizona State playing in a tournament championship game for the first time. Of course, coming over to the Big 12 after exiting the Pac-12. They played in the first Pac-12 tournament game. As you know, Danielle, there wasn't a Pac-12 tournament until recently. That is headed towards foul ground and out of play. And here they are playing for a championship in 2026 in the Big 12.
I know. It's people always ask, like, if you were sad that you didn't get to play in a conference tournament. I was not sad. I didn't want to play any of those people again. I wanted to maybe.
You had enough in the regular season.
I was done with the Pac-10.
You wanted to see other people in the postseason.
You know
like,
what? We're breaking up. I'm going to see other people, and it's called Selection Show Sunday. Let's find out who that is.
Now, if I remember correctly, too, conference play for the Pac-10, when there was no conference tournament, started a week later. So you guys were still playing last week of the regular season conference series.
And back when I played, it was you would play 2 games at Arizona State, get on the bus and drive to Arizona and play 1 game. We never played the same opponent 3 times. It's a good pitch. 3 times on the weekend, which I also really liked, and can what make conference play seem at times daunting for pitchers is because you're facing the same team offensively day after day after day.
We played midweek doubleheaders in conference play.
Another one out of play.
I remember going to Georgia for doubleheader, Alabama for doubleheader.
Midweek?
Midweek. At least that's the way that I'm remembering it. It's been well over a decade, so my memory might be a little bit fuzzy on those.
It's been a little while.
I might need to phone a friend or phone a teammate to back me up on that.
But one thing hasn't changed, and that's this field, this stadium. Both had experience playing here at Tennessee and Washington. That hasn't changed. The excitement and the attendance maybe has changed and continues to grow. And we'll find out the 64-team field tomorrow, Selection Sunday, and then it's the regional round and the super regional round. And then the 8 teams will come on to the Women's College World Series here in Oklahoma City. Acuna has made Kennedy work here after Kennedy got 2 outs on 2 pitches to start this inning. And Acuna backhanded nicely by Williams. The throw grabbed by Liss at first, and that will do it. 1-2-3 inning. Still 4-0 as Texas Tech comes to the plate in the 5th. Starts tomorrow, Selection Sunday. It will look a little different. There'll be a little bit more information and data when you see the teams revealed tomorrow on the Selection Show, 7 p.m. tomorrow. 1 through 8 seeded in each quadrant bracket. So there's basically going to be a seeding of 1 through 32. And I think when they're placing teams, it's not going to necessarily be like, well, that team geographically, we have to put them in that regional, say the Lubbock Regional, for example. I think it's more like, okay, if you're that 17 through 32, you shouldn't have to go play someone you're closer to at the top of the seedings just because you're geographically located closer to them. So maybe just rewarding those teams in that second group of 16. Tony's swing and a miss.
I think rewarding the body of work is key.
Yes.
And I know I said to you, I would like to not have to go to the same place every single year for a regional. I think being able to go and experience another place, so it's not going to be based on the miles. It's going to be more respected of, you know, the whole season and how well you've done, because you tend to see more of a trend, right? You see UCFOs go to Florida State. Like, you see a Grand Canyon tends to usually go to an Arizona. I mean, last year they went to UCLA. So I kind of like that part of it. That would be a highlight for me as an athlete.
7 o'clock Eastern tomorrow, ESPN2 Selection Show, and 7 innings special after that to break it all down. So the studio crew will go into a little bit detail.
And you're still not going to see teams from the same conference in the regional. So
Correct.
There's that aspect to it too when you're looking at, 1 through 32, making sure that there's not going to be 2 SEC teams or 2 Big 12 teams at the same regional. So you're going to still see them spread out across the country. But I agree with you, Danielle, kind of mixing up who we, I guess, typically see in the regionals in the past.
Hit well to left field. Drifting over there is Acuna. She's got it, and Tony is retired. 1 down here in the 5th. And the theme that I think we've all talked about throughout the season, and I think it continues to be the #1 talking point heading into the 64-team field, is the number of teams that you can put on that could be a national championship team list. It seems to be longer than ever before heading into this tournament.
I feel like I know that Texas A&M was kind of the big upset last year as the #1 seed, but I kind of feel like there might be 1 or 2 teams that could get upset in a regional.
I was just going to say there might be some teams that aren't necessarily on my list right now that could make their way to the National Championship Series, and I think that's what makes it so exciting, because you just don't know what you're going to get on any given day. And I think that we've seen, not just even here at the Big 12 tournament, but across conference tournaments and across the entire season, anybody can literally beat anyone on any day.
And, like, I mean, you could put an Arizona State up there.
Absolutely.
This is a team that continues the momentum of offensively swinging it the way they are against this caliber of arms, and you get a Kenzie Brown that goes on a run. Like, you could go through a regional and make it very tough in a super regional. So,
and it's something that Jerry Glasgow mentioned again. He said it a couple weeks ago. We kind of chuckled at it, but I think for a lot of teams, they feel we could win the national championship. We could also lose in the regional round on our home field. And that's what he talked about again yesterday, that there's just so much parity and so much can happen. I think it's going to be one of the most exciting NCAA tournaments in history, because you just don't know the 8 teams that are going to be here at Devon Park in a couple weeks. I mean, Texas Tech, they were in the Champ Series last year. Could they be national champion? Absolutely. Are you seeing their best today? No. I think Kenzie Brown has a lot to do with that throwing a one-hitter right now, and you could run into a Kenzie Brown or someone similar who could just shut you down. Comes inside on Davis, doesn't get the call. It's 1 and 2.
like, that's a good spot. 0-2 to go there, to have the confidence to own the inner half there. I love that.
Especially when she's been throwing those rise balls and those screwballs with the arm side run away to the lefties to be able to work something back in, and the location down at the knees, too. That's not a pitch that's going to be easy to get good barrel on.
Got a piece.
I also think of, like, Belmont with Amaya Johnson. Leads the whole, you know, NCAA and ERA well below 1. Like, that's not fun. I don't want
Speaking of arm side run, now for her being left-handed, the arm side run against the right-handed batter, she is tough against both lefties and righties.
1-2 to Davis, who's 0 for 2 today. 2 and 2. Well, you'll see coming up on ESPN, Florida State, #1 seed in the ACC. They beat Stanford 9-0 in the semifinal round. 5th straight appearance in the championship game, taking out Virginia Tech in the ACC title game for the first time since 2012. They hit 4 home runs in the semifinal win against Duke. Davis goes down on strikes for a second time today. That's 7 strikeouts for Kenzie Brown.
This is kind of one of those pitches, Maddie, where you have to tip your cap. Like, as a hitter, you are battling and battling and battling, and then she just pulls the string on a pitch, and just knowing that she can nibble a corner. She went in when she needed to, and then she kind of owned the outside part of the plate, but it's back-to-back.
Fly ball, deep left field, foul ground, and out of play. Hit well by Mia Williams.
The downbite on that last pitch, too, to Maya Davis. And in between innings, I caught a glimpse of Coach Jerry Glasgow just talking to his offense, and it looked like he was trying to tell them to be shorter to the ball and trying to get on top of the ball. Well, what's one way to combat that if you're out there in the circle? You start throwing the changeup, you start throwing that drop ball that has the downbite at the end.
But that's what makes her, at times, as dangerous as she is. That's what makes a Jocelyn Brisky with Alabama, the SEC Pitcher of the Year, as dangerous as she is. She can command the up so well, but can also go down at 70+ miles an hour. So it's like, I don't need to necessarily throw both throughout a game, but what do I do the first time through? How can I kind of intertwine that the second? Do I need to make an adjustment? A lot of pitchers have the ability with their stuff to hold a pitch maybe one time through the lineup, or then kind of introduce it maybe late in a ball game. So being able to have that in your back pocket ain't so bad either.
1-2 to Williams.
I look at offenses, too, in the way that teams are stacked together. As a coach, you're trying to put as many bats in the lineup that are going to cover a wide variety of pitches. You have swings that are maybe more well-suited to pitches up in the zone, or swings that are going to be suited to down in the zone. So when you're a pitcher that can do both, you can get an entire lineup out by throwing in different locations.
Pitch number 100 for Kenzie Brown is fouled off.
And I feel like it's pretty difficult these days if you can't go up, down, change, side to side, right? Like, if we're just living being an upspin pitcher, and we can't necessarily go down. One that I think of, even though she was a National Player of the Year, Kelly Barnhill at Florida, she didn't really have a changeup, but she couldn't go down. So as a hitter, I would always know, like, I know I don't ever have to face anything down there. But the most dangerous pitchers are the ones that can go up, down, change, in on your hands, away, and then pull the string.
One of the first pitchers I remember facing, and there were probably several others, but I remember facing Chelsea Thomas after Missouri came over into the Southeastern Conference, and hard rise ball up, hard drop ball down with the changeup, and she no-hit us in Columbia.
Dirty.
Gets the strikeout. That's number 8 for Kenzie Brown, who has one hit Texas Tech through 5.
Kenzie Brown seems to be heating up late in this game, pulling the string yet again. Money.
KC, so a lot on the line tonight, a lot on the line right here. And right now, it's Arizona State, the number 6 seed, on top of the regular season champs, the defending tournament champs, Texas Tech, as we play in the 6th. Brooklyn Ulrich leading things off against Nyjah Kennedy.
Quick 0-2 for Nyjah. I mean, that couldn't be more important, especially with the outs dwindling and only 6 left for Texas Tech to get back in the ball game. I almost take that initiative as a pitcher, like how quick of an inning am I able to have to try to get my team back in the dugout? How can I try to create a little bit of buzz, a little bit of momentum? Because you're not seeing it, right? You're not seeing the regular kind of confident Tech team that you've seen throughout the season.
Kennedy's given up just one of the Arizona State runs. Caitlin Terry came on. She was charged for 3 runs, all unearned, by the way. 2 errors committed by Texas Tech. They did change the single in the 4th, the scoring on the Pond, initially infield hit, to an error. And Kennedy, who came on in the 4th inning, has given up a hit and that error, and that's it so far. Caitlin Terry back in the outfield and right field after coming on. 2-2 the count to Ulrich, who's 0 for 2 today. Had the game-winning home run in the 7th inning of the quarterfinal round against Arizona.
Good pitch.
Strike 3, that will do it for Ulrich. 1 away.
Really well located away from Brooklyn Ulrich, too. This is one of those pitches, one of the screwballs that has that arm side run going away from the lefties. And Brooklyn Ulrich has her toes right on that chalk line, so she's trying to be able to get to that pitch. But that's one of those screwballs that's just going to be difficult to get any sort of barrel on with Nyjah throwing it at 71.
Bloop foul and out of play. Good catch. Strike 1 to Ho Ching. 1 for 2 today. Tiade 2 for 9 in the tournament. This could be trouble. A lot of English on it, and no throw from Williams. Wasn't hit hard, but it was hit in the right spot by Ho Ching, who's 2 for 3 today.
This one almost seemed like a little nubber.
Yeah,
Like
slow developing
Yeah.
ground ball over to the right side. I thought Mia Williams was still going to throw it over to first base to see if she had a shot of getting Ho Ching out as she was running down that first baseline. This one hit right off the end of the bat, so that curveball moving away from the righty kind of spun to the left of Mia Williams. From that angle, I don't know if she would have gotten her even if she did throw it.
Very cue ball-esque. Did not like those as a pitcher.
What that does too now is it flips it over to the top of the lineup with a runner on base now for Tanya Wendell.
Wendell 2 for 3 today, singled in the 1st, homered in the 3rd, struck out in the 4th.
And that's that change. And that really has kind of been something that you've seen. Hers will have like a little bit of float to it, but down. And we've just seen it kind of elevate up. That's going to be a pitch she knows she needs, right? Like, we're going to have to figure that out going into a regional and working on that as the week develops, figuring out how this is all going to shake out. But there is nothing worse, I tell you, when you don't have a pitch that is a bread and butter pitch for you. It can be frustrating. We saw it with Carlin Pickens after the Belmont injury. She had lost her changeup for a really long time. And when you're used to that, it almost makes your other stuff not feel as sharp because you don't have that sense of like being able to change up the bat speeds. And I don't know, the confidence built in a pitcher through swings and misses to me is key. I love a swing and a miss. It'll get the battery up.
Wendell's aboard for a third time today. It's a one-out walk, coaching on the second, and here comes Kaylee Pond.
Maybe it's just me, but I feel like Nyjah's time in between pace a little bit. It looks like she's trying to speed up Arizona State. Maybe kind of get them to make some swing decisions that they wouldn't normally make if they felt more in control of the at-bat, which is something you talked about earlier in the game, where it felt like Arizona State was in control of their at-bats.
Yeah, pitch clock is not a factor.
Yeah, no, we don't need it right
Nyjah.
now.
Yeah, we can give the operator a break.
Not a bad thing when you're cruising too, right? It's just are you in control of your heart rate? How is that piece playing an effect to the movement of your pitches? And if it doesn't seem to be an issue, like I felt like I almost needed more time in between pitches, because when I tried to go really fast, I felt like I wasn't controlling all the little things. But I like a good momentum pitcher too. Like when it's working and I want to work fast, I want to try to get ahead of you the best I can.
Another 0-2 to Pond. Foul tip hung on to by the catcher, Valdez. 2 down, strikeout number 6.
Nyjah Kennedy, along with Kenzie Brown and Caitlin Terry, those are pitchers that in the country, they can move the ball through the strike zone. And you're seeing Nyjah go back to that curveball, go back to that screwball there that she just got the strikeout on, where it's moving throughout the strike zone. So it starts in one spot, continues to tail away from those lefties. That pitch today has been working.
Yeah.
Fouled off by Samantha Swan for strike 1. 0 for 3 today, 1 for 11 in the tournament. You can see with her batting average, she's had an excellent year for Arizona State. Unanimous first team selection in the Big 12. After hitting .299 with just 2 homers a year ago, she's upped everything offensively while taking shot after shot, catching behind the plate, including last night.
It's funny you said that, because I would have had a nice big venti cold brew at her door this morning as my catcher, with just the beating that she took. Like, how can I help you? Because I know you got me, and she took a beating last night.
And Coach Bartlett says that Samantha Swan is the emotional rock for this team, and I feel like that's another piece that's so important when you're back there behind the plate, to kind of have that steady, consistent mentality. And it's not easy to do when the foul tips, a lot of things that you can't control back there.
Blooped on the hands. Valdez hustles over and makes the catch. All defensive team selection in the Big 12, showing a little range and making the catch to retire the side. After 5, still 4-0 Sun Devils.
Like a relentless weed, moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms can keep coming back. Break away to what's possible with Tremfya. Tremfya can help with remission at 12 weeks, 1 year, and 2 years. Some had visible repair of their intestinal lining. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Break away with Tremfya. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today.
Kenzie Brown, one of the best strikeout pitchers in the country, and we are seeing exactly why. She has been mixing all of her pitches, but notice how she steps to her left. That is going to completely throw the eye level of these batters off, especially for these pitches that she's running away from those left-handed batters into the right-handed batters. She's stepping to her left, and then the pitch is going the complete opposite direction. The velocity, the spin, the movement, the angle, and, of course, the off-speed is what has led to the 8 strikeouts that she's been able to rack up against this Texas Tech offense so far today.
Yeah, I mean, she does. She kind of has that, like, little step out where she's a little bit more open, but has the ability to throw dart-like pitches to locations. And based on where her body, when it opens, you don't expect it in like that.
Ground ball to Ulrich at short, 1 pitch, and Liss is retired. That's 7 in a row set down by Brown, 1 down here in the 6th.
Any little thing that a pitcher can do to disrupt the timing, right? To get them to change their eye level, or get them to think that there's a certain pitch that's going to move in a certain direction, and then it completely busts in a different direction. That was a great example there on that ground ball to Jackie Liss. Just jammed her up enough to where that's a ground ball to shortstop instead of being a base hit out to left field.
When you're seeing someone like Jazzy Burns, who's just kind of like off the dish a little bit, but then to me that opens up that fastball-ish kind of low and away. So that's when, like, visually as a pitcher, I'm always taking note of, like, hey, where's someone moving this second time through? Are they middle of the box? Are they back of the box? Like, so how am I going to attack them, or do I need to shake based on where they're standing?
Was there ever a time that you noticed, Danielle, when you were out there in the circle, where maybe a batter would almost try to bait you into throwing in a certain spot, right? Like, so I'm thinking, if I'm Jazzy Burns here and I'm starting off at the plate, if you're a pitcher, you're thinking, well, I'm going to throw you outside. Well, maybe you step across and you try to go get that pitch. I think this is the time. You got 6 outs left, or now 5 outs left. You got to take some chances.
I know. That was the stuff that would always fire me up, though. Like when you have someone like off the plate and then all of a sudden mid-pitch they're just scoot, 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 and then they move and they're like on the plate, and I'm like, okay, well, I have to trust my stuff enough that it is good enough to beat them, but do I want to instill a little fear and go hot up and in to just tell them to stop moving around in the box on me?
I know enough broadcasting next to you that I don't want to instill any fear or cross you in any way.
I thought you and me are tight.
We are tight. I'm just saying it's respect. Oh, I'm just giving you your respect. Like, glad I didn't have to.
Those are the good old
step
days.
Into the
I've eased up
box
a lot. Maddie knows it. I've eased up a lot.
You've mellowed?
I've had to.
Are you admitting this?
I've had to.
Motherhood will do that.
Yes.
Burns barely got a piece. Fooled on that pitch by Brown.
Seeing that, okay, so we're at a 1-2 count, swings at the change. And I know Megan Bartlett said that her rise is the healthiest that it's ever been. She made the reference on the call prior to this week. I wouldn't mind a crisp up and in rise ball under the hands right now. She gone with the change away. Like, can we hit the money spot up and in?
She does. Gets the strikeout. That's number 9. I'll bring up Caitlin Terry. And this is someone who has a very unique approach at the plate, Madison.
She has completely changed her stance from last season to this year. She's practically standing facing the pitcher, and that right foot, that front foot for her, from the start of the season, even this year to now, it's continued to get more and more open. That toe is pointing right at Kenzie Brown when she gets ready to hit. And then she'll almost kind of step across too, and she's already crowding the plate. I talked to Jerry Glasgow just about that, and he wanted to unlock the power. He didn't want her to just hit singles, but he wanted to see her really increase in the way that she was able to drive the ball, not just to the gaps, but over the wall. And looking the slugging percentage last year to this year, a little bit of red more at the bottom, low part of the zone. This year, that red is all over the strike zone. She's been able to pull balls low and inside, but also be able to hit balls up and away out of the park.
Proud moment when Maddie Shipman texted me to ask, have you ever seen anyone hit like that? And I said, I have. The Japanese national team, they all are very similar in the sense of, like, they're a lot more open stance. And you said, well, how would you pitch someone like Caitlin Terry? And I said, if you're open towards me, I'm going to go hot in on your hands. I'm going to try to expose the up and in with heavy velo, right? Like, that has to be known. And then I'm going to want to try to beat you away. So your heat map doesn't scare me away because you're hotter if I can get you thinking and swinging at pitches up.
Tap back to the pitcher. 1-2-3 inning for Kenzie Brown. Arizona State 3 outs away from a Big 12 tournament championship. We head to the 7th. On ESPN2, and then be sure to say hello to Madison and Danielle. They'll be here on studio duty for the Women's College World Series. Always love talking ball, whether they're on or off camera.
Amen. We have a lot of fun out there.
Yes, yes, we do.
We have way too much fun.
We do have a great view of the field out there, too. Kind of get a bird's eye view of the field.
Emily Shep to lead things off against Nyjah Kennedy. Starts with ball 1, of course. Big day today. We talked about it at the very top. ACC Tournament Championship game coming up. Palmer Park, 2:30 Eastern Time. It'll be Virginia Tech, the number 3 seed, Florida State, the number 1 seed. That's out of play. And then it's the SEC championship game, John Kropp Stadium, University of Kentucky. Alabama looking for a record 7th SEC tournament title. Very impressive run by the Crimson Tide, 9-1 win over Florida. Run rule, 13 hits. Pick up their 49th win of the season. That's sent into the gap in left center field. Who get down all the way to the warning track, digging for second with a leadoff double is Emily Shep.
Emily Shep just continues to have really good at-bats off of both Nyjeri Kennedy and Caitlin Terry. And I'd imagine, Danielle, there's probably not too many hitters across the country that can say that they've done damage against both of those pitchers. But Emily Shep has done exactly that. Went yard in the 3rd inning off of Caitlin Terry, and now a double into the gap to start things off in the top of the 7th off of Nyjah.
Corey Scholl will come on to run for Shep. What a great tournament for Emily Shep. 5 hits, 5 for 9 with a couple of home runs for Shep. So Scholl at second, and here's Katie Chester. Chester lifts a fly ball heading towards foul territory. Moving over and dropping it is Spearman. Definitely has not been a tight performance for Texas Tech in the field today. Reminder, coming up 3:30 Eastern time. We'll be in Vegas, WNBA Finals rematch. Aces and Mercury coming up at 3:30 Eastern time. Gonna be a change in the outfield, or just a, yeah, there will be a change in the outfield. So Spearman is coming out. Logan Halleman will head out to left.
Right after Desiree dropped that ball over in foul territory close to it. But that's a ball that has to be caught, especially with Katie Chester up at the plate. She's had some good swings off of Nyjeri today.
Perhaps set the early message closing out the 1st inning when she hit a fly ball to deep center field. Davis caught with her back against the wall. Chester then cleared the wall in the 3rd with her 19th home run of the season. That's a team best. She's 1 for 3 today, 3 for 10 in the tournament with 3 runs scored. Grounded foul, and it's 1-2 to Chester.
Seems like Chester's trying to go after that rise bar. At least she was in her first couple of at-bats and the first pitch of this at-bat. And now Nyjeri's throwing a little something different, a little change-up, little curveball, because she was starting to zero in on those rise balls.
Good pitch.
Called strike 3. Down goes Chester, 1 down.
Well, that goes with your point. When you're kind of getting pitched a certain way and we're going to up, and the eyes are up, this kind of opens up to be able to go with something on the outside part of the plate. 1-2 count. Pretty pitch.
Love the frame, too, by Vic Valdez back behind the plate. She's
Strike
so
1 to
good.
Ashley Mejia.
So she's so good at being very quiet with the way that she receives those pitches, too. Not a lot of movement, which almost tells me that she's anticipating where those pitches are going to end up so that she's in a good spot.
Yeah. I love me some Vic Valdez. I mean, it was a real treat to have her up on the studio set last year at the World Series. Like, she is so funny.
Yes.
Got a little camera shy. I think it was actually nice to see, like, when the athletes are so confident on the field, then you put them up and put a mic on them, like, oh, God. I'm like, hey, you got to loosen up here. It's going to be okay, Vic.
Strikeout number 8 for Kennedy. 2 down here in the 7th.
And that, to me, is a good response by Nyjah Kennedy. With the ball dropped in the outfield, right, it can be easy as a pitcher sometimes to fall apart or pull the poor me, but back-to-back strikeouts, one looking and one swinging.
Time called by Arizona State. Acuna is due up. Look like she's being called back. We'll have a pinch hitter here with 2 down. Due up for Texas Tech in the bottom of the 7th. Taylor Panel, who has the hardest hit of the day against Kenzie Brown, the double in the 2nd. and that is the only hit of the day against Kenzie Brown. Spearman and Valdez all due up, but Spearman just came out. We'll see if she re-enters the hit or if Holloman will hit. See how Jerry Glasgow plays it in the bottom of the 7th.
A lot of moving parts here.
Yep. Ryan Brown is stepping to the plate to pitch hit. That's why I'm here. You two go back and forth all you want. I'm here just to direct traffic, keep you guys on the rails here.
We've got about every coach out there on the field right now. We've got pinch hitter coming into the game.
So the junior Ryan Brown will step in, was in the Texas program as a freshman, Tennessee as a sophomore, will pinch hit with 2 down here in the 7th. Nine hits for Arizona State against the combination of Kennedy and Terry today. There's ball 1. They did charge an error to Spearman on that drop pop-up in foul ground, so that's 3 errors today for Texas Tech. Time is going to be called here by Tara Archibald, and she'll head out to talk to Kennedy.
I mean, when I have a pinch hitter late in a game, as a pitcher, I'm going straight attack, right? Like, yeah, you don't want to miss your spot. You don't know, you got to be mindful of that. But like, I don't want to fall behind on a pinch hitter. I want to throw my curve, and I want it to be crisp if that's the spot that I'm hitting. But interesting timeout again to go out and connect with her.
And because coach was just out there too when they were making that pinch hitter change. But that was very quick. Coach Tara Archibald came out of the dugout in a hurry after that first pitch ball. Looked like a curveball away.
Trying to get some information on Brown and be ready to go out there with, just to let Kennedy know, because just 54 at-bats for Brown this year. That's in there for a strike. It's 1-1.
I'd imagine that it's game planning as far as the way that they want. She does have a very powerful swing. A couple of home runs on the season for Ryan Brown. And she's standing way off of the plate, too.
I'm going right back. I'm going curve away. No, I mean, when I get a swing and a miss like that, I got to go with the velo out.
And it looked like she's communicating to the dugout, too, talking about how far off of the plate Ryan Brown is, making sure that Coach Archibald calling pitches knows that.
Ooh, good hands at third.
I don't go back in.
Off-speed pitch there, too.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably a point of emphasis of wanting to get some type of a feel-good on that pitch before you head into selection show, but I want to get back in the dugout and I want to hit.
Kennedy comes inside with the gas, pumped up after getting the strikeout, and that will do it for Arizona State in the 7th. To the bottom of the 7th we go.
After a leadoff double, it is 3 straight strikeouts in a row. 3 final outs for this Texas Tech offense to try to get something going against the one hitter in Kenzie Brown.
"13 complete games for Kenzie Brown this season. She started her career at Tulsa, was recruited by then Ball State head coach Megan Bartlett, but decided to go to Tulsa. But then when Kenzie Brown went in the portal, Megan Bartlett set her sights on Kenzie Brown, and Kenzie Brown has stayed with the Arizona State program, an All-American last year, and here she is with a chance in the 7th inning to pitch them to a Big 12 tournament championship.
Coach Bartlett saw the potential in Kenzie Brown from a very, very young age, and to watch her continue to rack up the strikeouts time and time again throughout her entire career has really been exciting to watch. And Coach Bartlett talking about Kenzie Brown, almost there's not enough words to describe what Kenzie Brown has meant to her and to this Arizona State program.
And one of the hardest workers, too. Stayed over the summer last season, stayed over the summer this past season. Like, I know has battled injuries at times, but one of the hardest workers. Sorry, pitchers need to be. They need to be. There is an example that you need to set when the ball is in your hand in the biggest games. I have to have the trust from everyone around me to know that I've earned that right? So there is this attention to detail on the work and the behind-the-scenes stuff that you put in.
Incredibly respected, too, the Heather Farr Award recipient at Arizona State at the Wings of Gold ceremony. That is the highest honor for a student athlete, and player for the Sun Devils, facing Taylor Panel. Here leading off the 7th. Panel with a pop-up, shallow left. Acuna comes on, and she's got it one down.
And I know something when Maddie and I were down talking to Coach Bartlett before the game kicked off, she had mentioned in that Arizona in the last inning about the heart rate and the adrenaline. And that to me is what I would feel in this inning, right? Like we got a 4 spot, we got a Big 12 championship on the line. Like how can I control that part of my game? Because no matter what, you're going to feel a little different. The heart's going to tick a little faster. So first hitter out of the way.
Logan Holloman now batting, waiting on it. It's going to be an infield hit. So Holloman went in there defensively after the drop pop-up. She gets a plate appearance, and it turns out to be a base hit. So Texas Tech perhaps not done yet here in the 7th as Valdez comes to the plate.
And this is one of those ground balls as a shortstop, too. As soon as that ball takes that second hop, you know that the runner is going to be safe over at first base. So it looked like Ulrich kind of got in between there. But a runner now on board for the Red Raiders.
Well, an absolute throttle against Vic Valdez and Haley Toney. I don't want to go through the top of the lineup again. I don't want to get, see Maya Davis for the 4th time or see Mia Williams. Like, I want to find a way. We got 1 out. I want to attack, not get back up top.
Valdez lined out to center in her
pitch.
first at-bat.
Now's not the time to squeeze.
2-0, the count to Valdez, who has 2 hits on the season.
Outside of Taylor Panel's double, though, the hardest hit ball was off of the bat of Vic Valdez.
Yeah, good point.
Line drive out to center field.
2-0 from Brown. There's a strike, 2-1.
And it's almost like her body goes a little extra to the left on the pitches away from those righties. That outside, that one to me almost kind of fooled me a little bit.
Three and 1. Popped up, shallow center field, drifting back is Ulrich. She's got it, 2 down.
Nice play by Ulrich and a nice pitch by Kenzie Brown, too, coming back inside. They had stayed away pretty much the entire at-bat to Valdez, missed her spots a bit off of the plate and said, you know what, instead of putting another free pass on, I'm going to challenge you inside. She swung at it, and it's a pop fly over to shortstop.
Here's the number 9 hitter, Haley Toney, with 2 down. Ball 1 to Toney. The only hit for Texas Tech was a leadoff double by Taylor Panel in the 2nd inning. One and 1. Toney fly to center in the 2nd, fly to left in the 5th. Pitch number 125 for Kenzie Brown. Hit well to right field. Mejia is there, and for the first time, Arizona State has won the Big 12 Tournament Championship.
What a moment. What a run, too. I mean, if those moments don't kind of just like give you goosebumps, the pure joy, how they've been able to play in this tournament, it's been special.
We talk about all the time how you want to be that team that is playing their best softball at the end of the year, and Arizona State is completely embodying that in every facet of the game. Cannot say enough about the job that Kenzie Brown did today. That is a very tough offense that she's going up against. To rack up 9 strikeouts, just give up 1 hit and a lot of soft contact, that's got to give you a ton of confidence moving into the postseason, and for the offense to have her back too. The way that they responded and they just faced Texas Tech in a 3-game series, not, 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
And they were swept. And to come in here and completely change the dynamic in this game, in this championship game, and to come out here and win after the quick turnaround, too, this team is firing on all cylinders.
And that is going in the mental piggy bank. Put that upstairs. Look what we were able to do when it mattered. Yeah, we played a team a couple weeks ago. We got swept. But when it mattered, we showed up, and they showed out.
One final bracket slap, and it's the Arizona State name going over the spot where it says champion. Kenzie Brown goes the distance. The trophy is in the air, and Arizona State has won the Big 12 Tournament Championship. Raise it high, Kenzie. She gave up the hit to Panel, then the infield hit in the 7th. It's a 2-hit shutout for the All-American as she shuts down a Texas Tech offense that came into the game leading the country, hitting .392 on the season.
Well, if that to me doesn't showcase that she is one of the best pitchers in the country, I don't know what does. I mean, you saw her get drafted on Monday in the AUSL. She's going to be making her way to Cascade.
Perfect timing.
I know.
You can keep saying nice things about Kenzie if you want. She's got the headset on. Congratulations, Kenzie. This must be, or just tell us how big a thrill this is for this team and for this program. You've stuck with it. Your teammates have stuck with it. I know it wasn't always easy this year, but what does this moment mean to you and your team?
Yeah, I mean, it just shows how hard we've worked. I mean, everyone loves a good underdog story. I mean, Texas Tech is an amazing team, so, you know, we believed we could do it. No one else did, so it's just a chip on our shoulder, and it's good momentum moving into the postseason.
Kenzie, speaking of momentum, we were down on the field in the dugout talking to Coach Bartlett, just talking about whether or not you guys would be able to take some of that momentum from last night's game over into this morning's game. And when we were down in the dugout, your teammates were singing, they were having a good time. What is it about this squad that lets them just go out there and perform at the highest level?
Yeah, I mean, we work so hard day in, day out. I mean, this team, we put in all the extra work for moments like this, and it just shows that, you know, it paid off in this moment.
Kenzie, adrenaline sometimes is so fun in this game. In the last inning, did you feel the heart rate elevate a little bit? And if so, like, how do you sometimes find yourself trying to calm the nerves? I'm not nerves, but you know what I mean? You get hyped up, especially Big 12 championship.
Yeah, I definitely felt myself do that, especially in the Arizona game. So just being able to take a deep breath and not make the moment bigger than it is was just key. So I worked on and on whatever day we played Arizona and just took that into today to remember.
Kenzie, what is it like when you're sitting there in the top of the 3rd inning and you watch your offense put up a 4 spot? What is going through your mind when you run back out there into the circle in the bottom of the 3rd?
Oh my gosh, I mean, pitching with a lead, it just relieves so much pressure. This offense has done a tremendous job getting prepared for this game and this weekend, so it's so exciting moving forward.
Kenzie, do me a favor. Turn around. Your team's behind you. Get them around you. You've got to get in there. Take the headset. Yeah, get it.
Come on over.
Yeah.
Come on.
Get them over. Let's see everybody on camera. This is what we want.
Love it.
Congratulations, Kenzie.
Congratulations.
I think she heard us. I don't know if she's going to hear anything for a while after that scream. What a performance. I mean, to throw a 2-hit shutout against Texas Tech, that is impressive. And congratulations to Arizona State.
Special. Hard to do, but also a real treat to be up here and kind of break into your guys' 2-man group. So thanks for having me.
So much fun getting to this championship
You're an
with
awesome
you both.
teammate. This was a tremendous team performance by Kenzie Brown and her teammates. They have won the Big 12 Tournament Championship, 4-0 the final over Texas Tech in the championship. What a way to start championship Saturday. ACC Tournament Championship coming up next. Arizona State went to the long ball. They put 4 on the board, and that was more than enough for Kenzie Brown as she leads Arizona State to the Big 12 Tournament Championship.